Hey VC, this is Chad. This is my fourth video, and since Halloween is next week, this will be songs for Halloween. And I'll try to exclude soundtracks from this video. So, my first choice is a bit of an obscure record. It is the band The Vampires of Dartmoor. The title is called Dracula's Music Cabinet, and that's what I'm actually listening to now. It was released in, I think, the late 60s in Germany. The original was on a label called Metronome. It goes for a few $100s if you can find an original copy. There's a label in the UK called Finders Keepers that reissued this maybe 10 years ago or sometime recently, and these reissues actually go for 50 to 70 bucks or something like that. The cover's amazing. It's got like this little vampire girl. They're all dressed up as it's like weird makeup. So it is mostly like psychedelic rock and just some random novelty type stuff. It's one of the cooler records I own, so if you can find this cheap, I do recommend picking it up. I think there's maybe a CD also. Check out the songs. There's a few on Discogs. So Vampires of Dartmoor. So my next pick is a band out of LA. It's like also psychedelic rock, and it's the Warlocks. This is their first record, I believe, first EP. This one is on Bomp Records. This came out in 2000. This one is on red vinyl, and there's a few other versions of this. So basically, if you're not familiar with the Warlocks, they play psych music, but it's kind of like more like shoegazy, alt rock. It's kind of dreamy, drug tinged. Isn't all psych, but the songs are always have cool names. There's a song on here called Jam of the Zombies, Jam of the Warlocks, Angry Demons. I recommend the song Cocaine Blues also. All of their songs have titles like that, and usually their artwork has like skulls and some of that stuff. So this is a really great listen, Warlocks. So obviously, I think I mentioned before, one of my favorite bands is like the Misfits and Glenn Danzig type bands. So I chose to exclude them from the video, just that's kind of obvious. So I found a record in my collection that might not be well known. This came out in the mid-'80s, and it's by a band called Manimals, and they are basically a Misfits wannabe band, but it's a bit more metal. The songs are much longer in nature. They kind of look like a buff version of Kiss on the cover. This is a private press record. They are from Cleveland, Ohio, I think, or somewhere around there. So I think they only did one record, and there might be one other CD or something. There's a few catchy songs on here. Blood is the Harvest is the title of the record. White Zombie, and Burn Witch Burn. But this is a pretty decent record. You can probably pick it up for maybe like under 20 bucks. So Manimals. So I was originally going to put this one on. but I wanted to listen to Dracula. So this record is going to be hard to see, but hopefully you can see it. This one is Baron and Der Club of Gore. This is a German jazz instrumental. I don't know if it's a trio. I can't remember how many. They have 4 members actually. I described it's really dark jazz, almost like you can call it like doom jazz, or you know, this record, Black Earth, is very haunting. I could almost imagine this being the soundtrack for like a David Lynch movie. So thankfully these records were just repressed within the last year. They have a pretty decent sized catalog, maybe like at least 4 to 6 records, and you can get these on a label, Pious. I've got this one from Amazon. I've seen them in local stores, so this would be a great record to put on it for depressing Halloween. So Burn and Der Kleberger, I think that's how you pronounce it, but Black Earth. I love the black matte cover as well. It's pretty sweet. I've seen this mentioned, or the band mentioned, in a few other videos. I think Andrew at Tales from the Crate also mentioned Nick Cave. So I chose this EP from The Birthday Party, specifically for the song on here called Release the Bats. Nick Cave is just an amazing musician. I love all the bands and projects that he worked on. Basically, he's been doing a lot of soundtracks recently as well, which are pretty great. This is, The Birthday Party. It's post-rock, post-punk, goth. It's pretty dark lyrically, the content. It's kind of like, what to say, maybe like, it's just dark. That's the best way I can describe it. But these songs are really great to listen to. Birthday Party, Release the Bats. The next band is pretty obvious just for their costumes, and that is the Mummies. So the Mummies are obviously a notorious garage rock band from California. They are notably the kings of budget rock, using like really junky instruments. They've been known to put write fuck CDs or whatever on all their stuff, and I think they did release this like a CD eventually, but this is their first LP. It says fuck CDs on here, but this is their first LP on Telstar Records. It came out in 1992. I think I picked this up around maybe 94 or so. That's when I started getting into the Mummies. So this is an original pressing. I think they just reissued this on white vinyl or something. So Mummies are really fun, garage rock, and they have a ton of material. At least one album, and then there's a lot of singles. Party at Steve's House, and Mummies Play Their Own Records, Volume 1 and 2. Forget, there's a few other compilations as well, but this has never been caught by the Mummies. Wouldn't be a Halloween themed playlist without the king of Halloween, and that is King Diamond. This is a EP called The Dark Sides, and this has songs from his various records over the years on Road Racer before they were called Roadrunner Records. So the song Halloween appeared on his first record, Fatal Portrait, and this one has also No Presents for Christmas, which is a great Christmas song. The Shrine is a really great B-side that was on another 12-inch I had, The Family Ghost. So King Diamond is one of my favorite metal performers. I've seen him 3 or 4 times over the years, so King Diamond. Here's a newer band that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, but I chose their second record, but their first real record. The first CD they had, Volume 1, was just released by Rise Above, but this is their first record for this purpose. It's called Bloodlust, and it's by Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. This is horror themed, doom, psych rock, and they have a pretty big following now. They're used to be, when they first came around, they were really mysterious. You never saw pictures of them. They used to dress in women's clothing, I think, or something like that. I haven't seen them, but they have probably 3 or 4 albums now. So I still like this one the best. I'll Cut You Down is probably my favorite song off of here, which is the first track on side A. So Bloodlust from Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. So this one is probably the most extreme record I have in my list here, and it's more fun than An Open Casket Funeral by The Accused. The Accused are a crossover metal, punk, thrash, hardcore band out of Seattle. This record was released on Combat Records in 1987. This copy I picked up at Jerry's Records in Pittsburgh in maybe 1991. So I've had this record a long time. I play it a good bit still. I think it's my favorite Accused records. I probably have maybe 4 or 5 other Accused records. I only like the ones with Blaine on vocals. So The Accused, more fun than An Open Casket Funeral. Really great artwork by S. Clayton, I think is his name. Very obvious Halloween choice, and that is the single from Ministry, Every Day is Halloween. This is a single that was released on Wax Trax, probably in the early 80s, I believe. Not sure the specific date. I'm a huge Ministry fan, especially their early work, but this is probably one of my favorite singles that I have. I have a few of the other early ones as well, and with Sympathy, their very first record, it's like a synth pop record. It's probably it's got to be in the top 10 records of all my records. So I'm a big fan of Ministry. So Ministry, Every Day is Halloween. So I said I wasn't going to do any soundtracks, but this one's kind of an exception. This is my last pick, and it is the Ramones, Pet Cemetery. This is a single. I got excited when I saw it in the store when I was browsing, thinking it was an original pressing of the Pet Cemetery soundtrack. And then I realized it was a Ramones maxi single, which is, still is cool. It also has Sheena is a punk rocker and Life Goes on here. I have a repress of Pet Cemetery, but I don't have an original. So I used to have Brain Drain. I've been looking for that record as well, which Pet Cemetery appears on. I think there's probably a reissue or something, but the Ramones Pet Cemetery. So that was all the records I really picked out. I had a few other just like random things I was going to throw in, so let me just pull the one record I was going to talk about. I put this aside, the Talking Heads 77, just for Psycho Killer, obviously. And then I have these two Halloween compilations. It's called Ghouls Night Out, and it's just really fun. Like, there's some rockabilly garage type stuff on here. So these were released on Simpleton Records, and these are on orange vinyl, so very appropriate. So I think that'll be my last kind of Halloween themed or video for a while, till maybe next year or sometime. So I hope everyone has a great Halloween, and trick or treat.